Hello and thanks for joining me. It has come to that time of year where I have decided that it's time to put the Triumph Bonneville away for the winter. The roads here in the UK, and particularly around Northumbria where I live, are very heavily salted over winter, and the salt gets into everything, causes terrible damage and corrosion to the bike. So it's just not a good idea riding in that kind of weather. So I'm preparing my bike to put it away for the winter. However, and this is a big however, the winters in the UK are so fickle. For the last couple of years particularly, we've had long periods of really mild and really quite beautiful weather over the winters, when it's perfectly acceptable to be out riding the bikes. You know, there's no salt on the roads and the weather's wonderful. So when I prepare my bike for winter storage, I don't sort of store it to be put away permanently for several months. I store it in a way that it can instantly be available if I want to ride it. So the first thing that I've done is clean the bike really thoroughly. I actually spent a good couple of hours giving it a real deep clean, and then dried it all off. And then I have waxed it all over, so waxed all the paintwork. I cleaned up all the chrome, cleaned up the engine casings, and waxed everything. And that wax gives it a nice protective coating. Now, I used to, when I lived at a different place, I used to then cover the whole bike in a very light coat of ACF 50, which is the anti-corrosion fluid, over winter. However, I'm very fortunate in that the workshop that I have here, that you're looking at here, stays relatively warm and totally dry over the winter. So there's absolutely no problem in storing the bike. So rather than cover the bike in ACF 50 that I want to then clean off in the spring, I just don't bother. I just give the bike a good clean and then give it a protective wax coating. Now again, if you were storing the bike longer term, it would make a lot of sense to drain the fuel out of the petrol tank and the carburetors. But I'm not going to do that. So what I've done is I have filled the petrol tank right up to the top so that there's no room for air in there. And then I've put some fuel stabilizer in it. And I'll show you the fuel stabilizer. I've got a bottle here. So this is the fuel stabilizer that I use. So I've just put the required amount of that in the bike, put it into the petrol tank, which I've topped up, and then I took the bike outside and I started the bike and I ran it, just let it tick over for about 10 minutes. And there's two advantages of that. One is then it runs the fuel with the stabilizer in it through all the lines and into the carburetors and into carburetor bowls. So it means that we've got stabilized fuel throughout the whole system. Also, it just helps, because I wash the bike, helps just make sure it dries off all the little nooks and crannies in the engine as well. So then I got the bike back in here. So then I just do a few basic things. So I adjust the chain and lubricate the chain, make sure that that's well lubricated for putting it away, particularly so that I don't pick up any rust on the chain over winter. I've checked the oil level, make sure that I'm happy with the oil level. I've checked the tyre pressures as well. And then the last thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to move the bike to the back of the workshop where it's out of the way. I'm going to put the battery on a battery optimate, and then put an indoor dust cover over the bike. So an indoor dust cover is different to an outdoor cover in that it's breathable. So if there is any moisture and what have you, it lets it breathe. It's not trapped underneath the cover. Yet it keeps any dust and dirt off the bike whilst you're not riding it over the winter. So I should point out that I get the bike up off the ground. So I get it on the centre stand and I get it up to make sure that both tyres are off the ground, so that they're not getting a flat spot on the tyres, or that the tyres sat on cold concrete floor. And then leave it on the battery optimate. And I find when I do that, then if I want to ride the bike, I know it's already, the oils are already checked, the tyres are pumped up and everything. So what I'll do is I'll get it off the bike. I'll just check the oil tank to make sure that it hasn't wet sumped. I'll double check the tyre pressures to make sure they're okay, and then usually it just fires up first kick and I'm off when I want to ride it. So here we are, just about to put it away. So thank you for another season of wonderful riding, my little Bonneville, and yeah, might get to ride you a little bit over the winter, I hope, as well. So thanks for watching, ride safe, see you again soon, bye.